Alright guys, today we're going to make this a really quick video. I just got a piece in the mail for the GT500 that could have potentially saved me potentially $20,000-ish dollars. So if you guys have seen from my previous videos, here is my crank pulley bolt. You're going to see that I think what happened is this thing started working out a little bit and started jiggling around, and pop, there went my crank snout. So this is the OEM Ford 10.9 grade stud or bolt. And what we got today is, if you guys have never heard of this, this is from Kinetik Motorsports. They have made a piece that they deem or call it the crank saver stud. So any of you GT500 guys out there and Coyote guys, I know Coyote guys are having a lot of problems lately breaking their crank snouts. GT500 guys, this is coming up more and more and more. So definitely check this out. If you're on that edge of not knowing if you need the MFP crank support, I would say you're making 1,000 plus, 1,100 plus. Maybe it's probably a wiser choice to start thinking about that MFP support. But this will probably still do the trick. However, if you're under that 1,000 wheel horsepower range, honestly, anything. I'm going to tell you now, I didn't even break mine making a ton of power. I was maybe making low 700 wheel. It was just a piddly pump gas car when it broke. So, guys, anybody, I highly suggest using this part, and you're going to see why in a second. So, here's what you get. This is, from what I understand, it's ARP 2000 hardware that you get from Kinetik. And you're going to see, and I'll link some videos later when I get a new crank to kind of show you what the difference here is. And I'll also link the videos from Kinetik directly. But if you look here, you're going to see what the main difference is. Look at the diameter difference in this main part of the stud, and look at the depth difference. That's probably going to be a little bit closer. Look at the depth difference on the stud. So, two issues with the stock crank that I found from a very informative, while short and no audio video from Kinetik. Ford drills out those cranks for, at least the GT500, Cobra Jet, etc. They drill out the cranks for a 14 millimeter hole. That's probably going to be this part here. However, they put a 12 millimeter bolt inside the crank. So let's go ahead and confirm this real quick as well. All right, so we have our trusty Chicom Pittsburgh Harbor Freight dial caliber. So essentially what we should get is this thing should caliber out to 12 millimeters. This thing should caliber out to 12 millimeters here probably, and 14 millimeters here. So let's go ahead and turn this thing on and see. And I'm going to change this to millimeters, and let's see what we get here. I'm going some good threads, and let me make sure I get it on the outsides of the threads. Okay, that is actually 11 point, let's go across like that, 11.3 millimeters. So if we Go on the outside like that. The outside of that is 11.5 millimeters, if I have it straight on. Actually 11.7. And let's go on the outside of that. 14.4 millimeters. So again, we can confirm, and let's go across this bolt once again, just to make sure. Okay, 11, 11.1, 11.2. So again, this does confirm that what Kinetik says is correct. So Ford drills out those holes for 14 millimeters. They put a 12 millimeter bolt in there. The other issue, supposedly what is happening is this bolt does not sit all the way into the crank snout. There's actually a little bit, maybe it's only a couple millimeters, which would only be a few threads on this, but it does not fully seat into the crank. This is a little bit longer. Again, if you notice here, that's going to be a little bit longer. We'll go down to the bottom of the head. You're going to see that that is significantly longer. This is intentionally made longer to fully seat into the crank. And now, for you guys that always laugh that my cats get into the videos, here's Ember getting into the video. So again, this one should fully seat into the crank. More importantly, the issue with the 14 millimeter hole, the stock bolt, and I'll link his video in here, the stock bolt would actually be able to jiggle around a little bit from that extra 2 millimeters or so. The bolt would jiggle around a little bit, so what happens is these work loose, and then that's where you see where these threads got fucked up. When mine popped, I was at every bit of 7,000 RPM, so I was full tilt when this thing popped. That starts working loose a little bit, starts jiggling, boom, throws off the balance of the balancer, pops your crankshaft snout, and you're fucked. This, with this being raised out, or not chamfered, I guess is the word you want to use, but with this being expanded out, this is going to not only seat into the hole more with these extra threads, but it's going to expand out into the snout and allow this thing to fit snug, so it is not going to move inside the snout at all. Not only going from 10.9 grade, which is real high grade stuff, but again, this is ARP 2000 hardware here, and you will see that Kinetik does give you a new washer, and that's going to go over your balancer, and then they give you a new nut to go over top, and then you're going to see it's got a Allen head or a hex head key to be able to tighten that into your crank. Again, we're not going to be able to do this right now because I don't have a crank. I'm still waiting on a crank to get to my house and tear everything apart. But I wanted to give you guys a real quick rundown of what this is and why you need it. And then we'll show a little bit later from some actual data on my crank on what happened. So hopefully this has been informative to you guys. Again, some of you guys may know that these exist, but I'm going to tell you, if I had a fully built GT500 and I'm sitting here thinking I had a 1500 horsepower bottom end, I didn't think that this was going to be an issue. So me being in the know didn't think it was going to be an issue. Imagine some of you guys that may have stock-ish cars and you may not be as on the up and up with the mods and stuff going on in the industry. So I did want to make a quick video, tell you guys this is out there. This was $130 shipped. So for $130, this could have potentially saved me, almost $20,000. Granted, I don't have as much damage, I don't think I have as much damage as some of you guys could potentially have, but I have talked to guys that have completely trashed their motors. And again, if you have ever built a mod motor, especially a 5.4, you're going to know that these are not cheap motors to build. When I say it could be every bit of $20,000, I am not exaggerating in the least. I know guys with L&M builds that probably have spent even more than that. So again, yes, these are super expensive motors. Do yourself a favor. Get one of these things for $130. Get that stock stud out of there. Get that aftermarket ARP, or I'm sorry, bolt, not stud. Get that stock bolt out of there. Get that aftermarket ARP bolt out of there. Do yourself a favor. Learn from my mistake and know this is out there, and save yourself some angst of having to build your motor, pull the motor, do all this shit that I got to do. So again, sorry for rambling. I know this is a quick one. We'll get you guys some more data later, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.